Our dear candidates out there, I hope you're doing well. I welcome all of you to today's lesson. As usual, my name is Katonga Nabil. I'm here to take you through the topic we started last time, and that is nothing other than verbs. I want to begin by apologizing because we posted a video of my first lesson and it had a problem of sound. For that case, I'm going to review part of the lesson and then we can move on. Well, if I'm to begin with our today's topic, which is verbs, we said last time that a verb is that word that can be used to express an action, that can be used to express feeling, event, or state of being. We gave a number of examples. I am sure you were following. So we went ahead to look at the specific categories of verbs. I remember we talked about what we called the action verbs. Action verbs. And we say that action verbs are these verbs that express actions. We said still that these verbs are categorized into the regular and the irregular, of which they can be transitive or intransitive. I may not go through the details of these types that we talked about last time. I remember leaving you with some work. And I said, we talked about the regular verbs, and we said that regular verbs, for that case, were verbs that do not change the principle or the main word. They do not change the main verb, but they add simply just a few letters. They can add D, they can add ED. Sometimes they can also add letter T to form the past simple and the past participle forms. The first part of it was about verbs that add D. I remember giving you a list. You can see these verbs that we have here are verbs that add on the letter D. So, for instance, we have got the word believe, and the word believe, we just add letter D to form the past simple form, and believed to form the past participle form. We have a word like deceive, deceived, deceived. These ones are very easy. And they are most of the words that are used in lower primary. That is primary 4 and 3. We also have, for instance, if we are to use these examples that add on a letter D or add the regular verbs, we have a case study like the stubborn girl escaped from school as our first example. In this case, you can discover that the verb we have is escape. But since it is used in the past to form the past simple, we just added ed and we got the word escaped. We have also, number 2, it has stopped raining. We have got stop as our verb. We added ed. We got the past simple. Having talked to me, he went home. So all these sentences are in past and they show us that regular verbs can add D or ED to form the past simple or the past participle forms. Now, let us look at the verbs that end in Y, but they drop the Y, which Y changes to I, then we add ED. These are most tested of the verbs, and they are tricky. They normally challenge you. For instance, the infinitive part of it, we have the word like bury, carry, worry, rally, hurry, ferry, and marry. So in the present participle form, this is the tense that we call the present continuous tense. When we're trying to express an action that is taking place at that particular time of reporting, we use what we call the present participle form of the given word. The case study for today, I want to put emphasis on the present participle form of these words. There is something that is very unique about these words that end in that end in Y. Let me give you an example of the word bury. Bury is our word. To put somebody in a tomb or something like that. Now, this word bury here ends in Y. This Y here, when we are forming the present participle form, it does not drop. So we shall have the word burying, maintaining the Y. In fact, all of them in the present participle form maintain the Y. Look at the word bury. Burying, it has the Y. Carry. Carrying, the Y remains there. In other words, you write the word as it is, then you add ing. For the word worry, the same. Rally, you can see it there. Hurry, I think you can see. Ferry, ferrying. Marry, marrying. Cry, crying. So for that case, in the present participle form, we do not drop the Y. We maintain the Y, and then we add ing. In the past simple form, we drop now the Y. I want you to differentiate between the present participle and the past simple. In the present participle, we say that we maintain the Y. But in the past simple form, we drop it. Which Y changes to I. Now, the word bury is the case study we had here, the word bury. It ends in Y. This Y, we shall write the word, and the Y shall become the I. We change it, or it changes to I, then we add ed. We get the word buried. In other words, the past simple form of the word bury is buried, and the participle form the same, buried. Carry, carrying. You will feel for me that one and the other one. Let me talk about the word worry, worrying, worried, worried. Rally, rallying. Complete for me the other two pieces. Hurry, hurrying, hurried, hurried. Ferry, ferrying, like that, like that. Marry, marrying. You complete for me, married. Cry. Remember, I want to emphasize this, that in the present participle form, we maintain the word. The root remains, the whole word remains, you just add ing. And for the past simple, drop the Y and add ied. For that case, we shall have formed the past simple and the past participle forms. Well, let us look at the usage of these words, these verbs that end in Y, and then maybe can change to ied. Well, number one, you can help me read through out there. Read for me, number one. Okay, that is wonderful. So let me help you also. The old man was buried last week. You can see the fact that we have a helping verb was. It makes the sentence past. So we shall pick the word bury. We change I to ed. We say the old man was buried last week. Number two, read that one. Okay, I hope you have read. We shall say she buried her face in the pillow. You know, maybe she appeared very shy. She had to hide the face. We say she buried her face in the pillow. It doesn't mean that maybe she lost her face and maybe buried it down. That is an idiom that is used. Number three, the trucks were ferrying stones from the valley. Ferrying, transporting stones from the valley. So in that case, you see, this is the present participle, what we call the present continuous tense. The number two is the past simple tense. So ferrying, we have it like that. That one was simple. I'm just trying to show you out there that these words can be used. Remember at the start of our lesson, we said that verbs help us to communicate effectively. When you master the verbs, in fact, you can only tell that somebody is not fluent by the way the person uses the verbs. If you discover that somebody is messing with the usage of verbs, then it shows, it indicates that that person is not very fluent. And take note of that. Well, we also have to talk about regular verbs that simply add T. Like we said with the definition that these verbs can add D alone, can add ED, and can also add T. Remember, the definition says they do not change the principle or the main word. They simply add letters. In this case, we have words that simply add T to form the past simple and the past participle forms. Look at this. Mean, the past simple of mean is meant. And the past participle is also meant. We just write the word mean and then add T. Spoil. Spoil, the past simple form, spoiled. The same applies to the past participle. Dream. Dream, you know, some of these words are both nouns and verbs. Like dream. Dream is both a noun and a verb. You can have a dream, and you can also dream. So when you dream, I'm talking about the action, dreaming, or the part that we call the verb, dreaming. So dreaming, what happened to you yesterday? I dreamt. That is now the thing we're talking about. And the past simple form, we just add T, and the past participle form is also T. I mean, we dreamt. Learn. Learn, we're taking the British version of language, where learn, the past simple, you just add T. It is also possible when you're reading or you're looking up words in a dictionary, you'll find a version of learned. The lawyers normally refer to themselves as the learned colleagues. They are learned fellas. Anyway, but we're talking about the past simple form of the word learn, which is learnt. So learnt, we just add T, we shall be very formal here. You add letter T from the word learn, then you form the past simple. Even the past participle, you add T to form the word learnt. We have the word burn, the same thing I've told you about the word learn. We have the word burned, but we shall use burnt. Burnt as the past simple, and the word burnt as the past participle form. Lip. Lip, like the movement of a frog. A frog can lip. So that one, the past simple is lipped. And then we shall also have the other way. You look up these words. Play with words. The more you play with words, the better you become. It is important for you to look up the meaning of the word. It is also possible that a word has several meanings. So you find in which aspect can you use the word and you apply it. The more you play with these words, the better you become. Deal, it is also there. You feel for me, look up and then see the past simple form and the participle form I've given you. Dwell, dwelt, look up the past participle form of the word dwell. So these words here, or these verbs, for them they form the past simple and the past participle forms by just adding one letter, and that letter is T. Well, our dear candidates, let us try to use, I will challenge you out there to write around 5 sentences using these verbs that simply add letter T. So as we go through our lesson, I challenge you people to get a piece of paper and write your own sentences using these verbs that simply add letter T. I have my 2 examples here. I do not want you to use my own verbs. You can use the rest of the verbs. We can read number 1 of mine. I didn't mean to knock your tooth out. I didn't mean. I am using now the positive or the infinitive part of the verb. I didn't mean to knock your tooth out. And I want to warn you out there to play carefully. Do not knock your friends and they lose their teeth, or somebody loses his or her tooth. Number 2, the child leapt across the puddle. The puddle is like a pool of water. Leaping, I told you, it can be jumping a little or hopping. So this one is the child leapt. That is the past simple form of the word leap. Leapt across the puddle. So you can form some beautiful sentences out there. 5. You can challenge yourself and maybe write 10. We share and see. But use those verbs that add letter T. Let us now, straight away, we have finished the section of regular verbs. And we said regular, that one is the simplest part. Let us now look at the irregular verbs. Help me read through this. Thank you. So we say that irregular verbs are words that partially or completely change the main word in the past simple and past participle respectively. We are talking about words now that partially, that is partly or completely change when forming the past simple and the past participle forms. Now, these words change completely or they partially change. They change somehow. Irregular verbs that differ from infinitive, past, and past participle. We have these words that change. The past simple is different from the past participle. Not like the regular verbs where you have play, played, played. Here, let us look at this part. So we've seen beat, the past simple and the past participle. You feel for me. What happened yesterday? The teacher beat us yesterday. The teacher has beaten the stubborn boy. Then we also the word bite. Bite to use the teeth. The past simple is beat and the past participle is beaten. We shall have the rest of the verbs. Go look up and find out how they change in the past simple and the past participle forms. This table, you'll help me look up these words, all of them, and then finish. Maybe we can begin from throw. The past simple of throw is through, and then the participle you look up. Blow, blew, finish for me. Fly, look up them. Tear, tore, torn. Like that. In the interest of time, let us go to the usage part of it. Here we have, for instance, like you help me read number 1 out there. Okay, read number 2. And lesson number 3. All right, let me take you through. Smoking in restaurant is prohibited. It is forbidden rather. Smoking in the restaurant is forbidden. Forbidden is from the word forbid, and the past participle form is forbidden. Why have you forsaken me? He cried. So the word forsake, in the participle form, we shall get the verb forsaken. The teacher beat Moses yesterday. Now you look at the word beat in the past participle form, the past simple is beat. Much as we don't have the word beat like most of you used to say that the teacher beat the boy. No. So we say the teacher beat Moses yesterday. You construct for me other 3 sentences in the same case. Straight away, we're going to regular verbs that change I to A. They have I in the past simple and they have you in the past participle. For instance, drink. Drink is our verb. But in the past simple, we have A as drunk, and the past participle, we have you as drunk. Now, the A is for past simple and the U is for past participle. If I can straight away give an example, we drink water every morning. We drink water every morning. That is the infinitive part. In the past simple, we shall say that we drank water yesterday. And in the past perfect or the present perfect, we say that we have drunk. That is for that case. So all these words in the past simple will go for A. Begin, began, began. Ring, rang, rang. Sing, sang, sang. Shrink, shrunk, shrunk. Spring, sprang, sprang. Swim, swam, swam. Sing, sang, sang. You can look up other words that fall in the same category. These ones have A in the past simple and U in the past participle. Well, let us look at the usage. We can say, for instance, he drank the water I gave him. You will realize that this sentence is in the past simple tense. So we're using drank with A. Most of you, in most cases, you misplace the letters or misuse them. You find somebody using he drank the water using you. But here it is a past simple, so we use A. You've been drinking water, haven't you? So we shall need a question mark at the end for this one here. So drinking is the present participle form we have picked. And lastly, Barbara has drunk my soda. Drunk. The fact that there is the has here will have the verb in past participle. Look at number 1 and number 3. Number 1 is in past simple. We don't have any helping verb before the main verb, so we use the past simple. We use the A. For Barbara, number 3, we have has. Has dictates that we use the past participle form of the verb given. Irregular verbs that change I to you and you. In this case, we have got where. These verbs are like the previous verbs, these ones here we saw. But they are different. This is A and U for past simple and past participle respectively. But in this case, we have got you and you. Dig. Dig, in the past simple, we shall have dug with you. We do not have dug with the A. So in the other case, we shall also have dug. It is as simple as cling, clang, clang. For past simple you and past participle you. There are very many of them. Help me add more. Stick, stuck, stuck. Strike, struck, struck. Sting, stung, stung. Ring, rang, rang. Spin, span, span. Sling, slang, slang. Spring, sprang, sprang, fling, like that, like that. Well, let us have the usage here. Joan is digging now. Joan digs daily. Joan has dug around her house. So this is just the same sentence almost, but in different time zones. The fact that it's the present participle, we add ing, and it doubles because it is a short vowel word. So we shall have digging. We say, Joan is digging now. What happens every day? Joan digs daily. And lastly, Joan has dug. Like I explained, when we have a helping verb before the main word, we use the past participle form. Dig, the past participle is dug with you. And therefore, we shall say Joan has dug around her house. Well, irregular verbs that drop E and add T, they are irregular. They have EE in the middle, but they drop one E and they add T at the end. Look at the word creep. So we shall have the verb creep. Yesterday, what happened? The child crept. Crept, we shall drop one E and then add T. The past participle, we also have the same word. Feel, felt, felt. Kneel, mother knelt before father. Mother has knelt down. So you help me fill the past participle forms of these words. Sweep, swept, swept. Weep, wept, like that. Keep, kept, and then you finish for me. Regular verbs that use O sound or use sound. You remember, we are looking at most of these words have I, but this one now goes for OU. Like bring. That bring that book to me. You say, I brought it yesterday. So bring, we shall have brought and then brought in the same case. Where is I here? They have the same sound, the O sound. Brought, brought. Seek, the past tense of seek is sought. We don't have seeked. Sought. Buy, bought, fight, fought, like that. Find, found. Found. Remember this word here also, it is not found like most of us want to speak. That, you know, I found him there. It is found. I found him there. Bind, bound. Bound, grind, ground, ground, wine, wound, wound. Let me tell you something about these words that is funny, but you must understand as students of language. This word here is wind. Much as it can be read as wind. You can see all of you. The word wind is the same spelling as the word wind. But as a verb, it is read as wind. And if you look at the past simple and the past participle form, it is read as wound as a word. Much as it can also serve as wound. It is the same. But we're talking about a verb. If it is a verb, it becomes wound, not wound. Just like that. Well, let us have the usage. I sought advice from the teacher. Seek is the word that we've used, and we have used the past simple form of seek, which is sought. Now, something to note about this sentence, we seek something. We don't seek for it, we seek it. You can seek permission. Do not make this error of saying that I sought for permission. No, you seek permission, you seek advice from somebody. John bought meat yesterday. Mary has not found the book. So that is like that. Boys and girls out there, we have irregular verbs that do not change at all. There are a number of them. For them, they don't change in the past simple, and they do not change still in the past perfect. Like the word burst. Burst in the past simple, it is burst. You have burst my ball. You cannot say the ball has bursted. That's not proper English. Broadcast. Actually, take note of these cast words. Broadcast, telecast, forecast, cast, they do not change to casted, they remain. These ones do not change at all. So broadcast, 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 cast, 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 hat, hat, hat. All these ones cut, put, read, let, bet, split, reset, do not change at all. They are irregular in nature and they remain the same. Let us look at the usage of it. We shall say, the interview was broadcast live across the country. Was broadcast. A person who is not serious, the person who has not gone to school will say, the interview was broadcasted, which is an error. So please, out there, we should know that this is an irregular verb, and the word that does not change at all, we say, the interview was broadcast live across the country. COVID-19 messages are broadcast on all TV stations. Out there, we know the crisis that we're facing now. COVID-19, so-called coronavirus disease. So So it was broadcast. You say messages are broadcast. Not they are broadcasted. They are broadcast on all TV stations. So boys and girls, I want to thank you for watching this episode, and I want to encourage you to keep healthy and stay safe at home. Thank you so much.